Y'all know I love me a good old Madden fantasy draft, but it has been a long time since I've done one where I can actually make the picks and didn't just put my fate in the hands of the CPU. So today, we are gonna start this with a fantasy draft where I have a very interesting strategy that most of y'all probably don't know, but OGs of the channel might. And after we pick our team, we are gonna see how good we can make this roster and if we can win a Super Bowl with this team by the end of it. But I'm super excited to get into this. I've been doing a lot more challenges I just think will be fun more than anything lately, if you couldn't tell. So I really hope y'all enjoy this too. And if you do, be sure to leave a like on the video. It sounds weird, but it really does help out the channel. I would appreciate it. And let's see if we can get to, we almost hit 2,500 likes on the last one of these I did. So let's see if we can get to 2,500 likes. It'll let me know y'all want to see another CPU picked fantasy draft. Those are a lot of fun, but I haven't done one in 5 months, or a little over 4 months. But again, leave a like if you want to see one of those. Let me know any fun fantasy draft themed ideas you want to see down in the comments, because if I use your suggestion, I'll give you a shout out. Maybe you would want to see one where I can only pick offense. I've done those before and those are a lot of fun. Anything like that. And then very last thing, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you again for 80K. I've said that like 5 times now in videos, but whatever. I really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's finally get into this. And let me show y'all the strategy. First, let's see where we end up picking. Hopefully, we have a good one. But with my strategy, honestly, it kind of makes it bad luck proof. Sorta. Let's see where we pick. Oh, I guess that's what I get for saying that. Okay, it's not quite bad luck proof. You can still get pick 32. I take back what I said. Well, my strategy is, regardless, I do not take a QB until later in the draft. Because unless you end up with one of those top, I don't know, 8 picks, you're really not getting a top tier QB. So I would rather build a monster team and take a young QB later in the draft, like an Anthony Richardson, I don't know, Jordan Travis maybe, Michael Pratt, whoever's available. Maybe not Sam Howell, but someone. And see if we can get them to develop in a great situation. And if not, guess what? We can just draft a QB in the regular drafts. And my strategy for every other pick is to take, kind of similarly, just the youngest good player we can get and try to develop them. And I think our pick here might be pretty easy. There are a few. You know what? This is kind of weird, but it is such an important position in Madden. Bijan Robinson might be single-handedly the best player in Madden. Let's take Bijan. Can get you a clean like 6-point-something yards per carry. Just ridiculous numbers, especially because we're using the Panthers. We're gonna throw the ball to him. It still acts like we have Christian McCaffrey. That might be the best player we could have gotten here. Am I coping? Maybe a little bit, but back-to-back picks. Y'all know who I'm eyeing. How much does the Panthers offense use tight end? Probably not much. So I don't know if Bowers would be worth it unless we do play him as a pure slot, which would be fine. I think I'm gonna go Penei Sewell. Is there a good left tackle? Rashawn Slater, but I think Rashawn Slater sucks in simulation for some reason. There's Teron Armstead. Apparently I didn't retire him. But yeah, I'll go Penei Sewell. I'm only gonna show like 8 picks. I think that's what I usually do. I feel like that's a safe number to show all the interesting picks, but not to where it gets boring. Ooh, there was a big fall off. I mean, that's what happens when you go from the first pick in one round to the 32nd in the next round, like a gap of 64 picks. Yeah, that'll happen. Ooh, there's still some good receivers left. How old's T. Higgins? 25, so probably 26 in real life, but 25 here. Drake London's like 23, right? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Drake London. We're just building the Falcons on the Panthers. Ugh. But all right, I mean, this seems like a no-brainer, right? Jared Verse is still here. I don't know how, but yeah, I'll take him. Let's see, is there a good corner left? Not really. Garrett Williams, that might be our best option. Kamari Lassiter, that might be our best option, actually. Is there an 80 plus? Okay, Garrett Williams is the youngest 80 plus. We need corner. Is Andrew Thomas too good of value to pass up? He's just another one of those players that are horrible in Madden for whatever reason. Probably because he's an actual good pass blocker, and it makes him play like not a good pass blocker. Also, it's weird to see Daniel Jones to the Patriots, if you look on the right side over there. Brian Branch Branch, Trent Williams, all picked in the same range, Kirby Joseph, Zach Tom. Like, there are still such good players going. Josh Sweat, Zach Bond, I see, Khalil Shakir, Brock Bowers, but you pick Daniel Jones? That's why I'm not picking QBs. I will show what QB we do pick, though. Oh yeah, right guard's bugged. I was like, why is this sorting weird? Might go Quinn Miners, though. 88 overall, still available? Sure. Oh, Lassiter went one pick before us. That's who I was gonna take. All right, a couple more picks I'll show. Garrett Williams is still here, so sure. Oh, he only has normal? I don't know. Madden gets buggy when you make custom rosters like I do, like custom overalls. It'll show the right dev traits outside of franchise, like updated ones for the normal rosters. In your custom rosters, it'll show the right dev traits, but once you go into franchise, it'll still show like the dev traits from the start of the game. For some players, but for rookies, it changed. Maybe Garrett Williams doesn't have star, but I would assume that he does, so I don't know. We'll still take him though. That's just kind of weird. I wouldn't think he would. Oh, and there's still some decent players left. Byron Murphy, Keanu Benton, there's some running backs. Tyler Smith. What's something I've neglected? The D-line. I mean, I grabbed Jared Verse, but the interior is kind of hurting. I'll go Byron Murphy. Not to just be a biased Seahawks fan, but I feel like he had a very slept-on rookie year. He was pretty good, even though his numbers weren't great. Don't know why he looked bald and 50 on the right there, but sure. And you know what? I'll show one more pick. We'll take 1/3 of the exciting whites. Or 1/2? Is it just blank? No, who's the other white DB for the Eagles? Him, DeJean, and there's one more, right? Or is it just the two? I don't know. Either way, I don't want to get into it. We'll take him. But we'll see what QB we want to take later. We could think about it already. We'll see who's left. JJ McCarthy. Now here, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, either him or Anthony Richardson. I've seen both of them win MVPs in Madden. I usually like to go with a more quirky player like Max Duggan or Spencer Rattler in round 50, but I don't think I could pass up on JJ McCarthy. I'll take him because he is a rookie, has hidden dev, and I think he does better than Anthony Richardson in Madden. We'll take him. Does it say any pick is good? It said he was ranked 41 for QBs and it said he's good. Like, I think it's just too positive. I don't know. But all right, we end up with only an 80 overall team at the end of the draft, which, to be fair, my strategy is to pick young players, so I'm honestly surprised it's even that high, especially getting the 32nd pick in the first round. But here is a look at the team. Only on the BrandonTS channel will you see a roster like this. Truly. What an interesting group of players. I don't know what our scheme is. This is a really interesting offensive line, but we'll figure something out. We also got, don't know how I clicked Quinn Miners there. We also got Talise Fuaga, so we'll move him into guard for sure. And then maybe Avila to center. I feel like he's better at guard than center, but we'll figure it out. But we have a very different offense than defense. Our offense is an 85, but our defense is only a 76, and you can see it. Why is this team listed as a 4-3? Well, I guess they're a 4-2, right? So that kind of makes sense. Well, no, are they? They have Evero. I don't know. This is more what it'll be like. I still need to move some players around, like Kinchins to strong safety, I guess. Some defensive tackles around, but this is the group of players we got. Again, just a lot of year 1, year 2, year 3 players, like 24 years old or younger for almost all of them, other than Blankenship. We are just purely gonna try to develop this team. And guess what? If they don't develop, it doesn't matter because they were cheap and it'll be easy to sign a free agent or draft someone ahead of them. Now, here's the hope. I can't remember if this is exactly how it works, but I hope all of these contracts are early, so these guys are as cheap as possible before they do develop. I'm really mind gaming this out if you couldn't tell. So we'll hope for early contracts and long-term development so everyone can be on a budget deal. We'll have to see how this goes though. I am very excited to get into this, as I've already said. We'll have to see how this team does year 1. It wouldn't surprise me if it does well, even though it's not the best overall. Again, Panthers playbook's pretty good. A lot of the players we have do pretty well, other than Andrew Thomas. Kind of scares me because that makes sense. One of the best left tackles in the league. Love this game. And then this defense might be the worst thing of all time. I don't know, but we'll see how it does. We at least have Jared Verse, and we'll see how our D tackles do. I don't know, but I think that's all the team breakdown we need to do. I'm excited to see how this team does. Let's get to the midseason. But okay, we are 3-4 at the midseason. That's about right, actually. Okay, we have a good offense and a pretty terrible defense, as it should be. I do want to see where we rank though. I mean, We're already up to an 83. The highest is an 84, it looks like. The Seahawks, love to see that as a Seahawks fan. Wish they had a good enough GM to get there. The Eagles are an 84, the Colts, the Cowboys, the Chargers. But I mean, we're only one overall behind those teams. By the end of this first year, we could be tied as the highest overall team. Again, with how young our roster is. But what's the issue on defense? Is it run D or pass D? Well, it's both, but mostly pass D. How many sacks do we have? I feel like that would be the issue. Okay, JJ McCarthy, not off to a great start. That's a lot of picks, but okay, yeah, it's kind of a sack issue. Verse only has 3, which to be fair, as a rookie, he only had like 6, but got a lot of pressures. You only have 3 picks. I mean, overall, that doesn't look horrible. I've seen a lot worse. Where do we rank for sacks? We're 10th. Now, there are some teams that have only played 6 games ahead of us, 3 of them, but I guess it is just interceptions. Yeah, we're tied for 3rd worst for interceptions. Well, that's tough. Not surprising though. That's why we have the draft coming up. So, we do thankfully have 21 re-signings to make, and we have 142 mil. This worked out perfectly. I mean, I can't say perfectly. Maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. It's a lot of depth here, actually. Only 3 starters. London, Miners, and Washington. That's still fine. I would go 4 years, 78 for London. I would go 4 years, 74 for Miners. And, I mean, we don't really throw to Washington, or tight ends in general. He's still only 23, though. I would go 4 years, 44. Oh, he takes that. I did not think he would. He had no interest, but everyone else, I mean, Darius Robinson's a starter. If he does develop into our long-term starter, let's see if we can get him for like 5.5 mil a year. He does resign. Any other starters? I mean, kicker and punter, we got Harrison Mevis at 241 pounds, but everyone else I think we'll see at the end of the year. But I mean, all things considered, pretty good start. So let's see how we end up doing. Okay, I don't know what happened after the mid-season. Yeah, it didn't go great. We won 1 more game after week 8, or I guess after week 7. That was our second to last win. We were getting destroyed too by the Cowboys, by the Cardinals, by the Falcons, Saints, Broncos. We got destroyed twice by the Falcons. Okay, let's see what the issue was, because I didn't focus scout QB this year. JJ McCarthy, it's a lot of picks. If he can get that number down though, everything else was good. We just need to see if he can get that number down. Bijan, he was doing better at the midseason. Also, we barely ran the ball. Why? I don't know. But Drake London, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. Good numbers from everyone else. I haven't used the 80 Mitchell in a single rebuild this year, I don't think. I wanted to pick some unique players here. But all right, our 90 overall tackles. 90 Thomas is a 91, and I would guess Sewell's like a 94. Yep, good call. They allowed 20 sacks total. That's great. That's realistic. Our interior was... Talisi Fuaga was our best blocker. Like, position to sack ratio. I don't know how you would ratio that, but how many the position usually allows in Madden, he easily did the best. But Jeremiah Trotter Jr., 129 tackles. I think he could be a big breakout for the Eagles this year. I know he is, a lot of people say he's just name value for his dad, but I legitimately think he's good. But he did very well here. I hope he develops. That would be a lot of fun. But we had a lot of TFLs. In sacks, better than I expected. 7.5 for Mike Hall. He's always amazing in this game. I don't even know how many times I've had him in rebuilds lately. It feels like everyone, but 7 for Verse, 5.5 for Robinson. Really good rookie year from him. Only 3 for Braswell though. He was kind of terrible. Someone I think is good in real life, but not here apparently. But 2 picks for Phillips, 1 for 5 players. How did we go 4 and 13? I really don't see it. What was even the issue? It was defensive yards, but what on defense? Just, I guess our pass D. Yeah, we allowed the most points. I think the Panthers hold the record in real life for, I feel like this went really under the radar. I'm pretty sure last season they broke the record for most points allowed in a season, but I don't really ever see that brought up. We didn't have the worst run D. We also didn't have the worst pass D, so I guess the run D was the worst part. I think we might just run it back and hope it does better. We'll add some pieces, but like, running it back in real life almost never works unless you got like really unlucky or something, but in Madden, I think it'll work. But Josh Allen wins MVP on the Eagles. That's something. Oh, Aaron Rodgers goes the Tom Brady route, joins the Buccaneers at like 45. It's always random receivers, like decent receivers, but like mid-70s overalls receivers that make it on the Offensive Player of the Year list. Kendrick Bourne for the Colts. Devin Duvernay also on the Colts. Wait, 2 for the Colts? Usually if there's like a mid-70s overall player up here, it's because they're like the slot receiver on a team, and they get about 1 billion targets, even though they have a better receiver. I don't know what happened here. Whatever. Also, Laviska Shenault up here, back on the Jaguars. What team even are we? I got distracted. We are the Panthers. I went back to MVP. Puka Nacua wins NFC Offensive Player of the Year. Bijan at number 10. Okay. I was hoping we would use him more. Khalif Raymond, I think, back on the Falcons. I think he was there at one point. Devin Lloyd, Defensive Player of the Year. All right. Nobody too weird other than that, though. Caleb Williams, Offensive Rookie of the Year on the 49ers. A.D. Mitchell all the way down at 10. With how many rookies we had, that's kind of depressing. I guess we didn't have that many starting, though, that could have won it. It was just him and Coker. Well, and McCarthy, but I thought he would at least be up here, but he wasn't. But Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to Jared Verse. That's huge, because I think he only has star in Madden. Trotter at 3. I was hoping we could top 2. I honestly thought Trotter would win it, but either way, I'm glad we won it. No, honestly, I thought Mike Hall would be 2nd, then Verse at 3. Darius Robinson at 8, though. Very interesting first year. Most Madden simulation first year I've ever seen. Speaking of Madden, there were 2 14-3 teams in the NFC, but neither of them were the 1 seed. Who was the 1 seed? The Eagles? Did they go 17-0? It wouldn't shock me at all. I promise you I didn't see that. What a start. We already have a 17-0 team, of course. Can they pull off the, 20-0? Let's find out. I would guess they'll get beat by a 9-8 team, but we'll see. No, they're in the Super Bowl against the Browns, which, hey, new roster here. Kevin Stefanski, who's a pretty good coach. I don't know, he won Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year is weird, but can the Eagles pull off the 20-0? If they get beat by the Browns, I mean, that would be equally funny, but let's see. It does go to the Eagles. They go 20-0. They score 20 to go 20-0 with a Nick Sirianni Coach of the Year, obviously. Jeffrey Simmons, Super Bowl MVP. What a start. Let's see if we can one-up that. But all right, for re-signings, clearly we had some issues in the second half of the year. So I'll re-sign some of these depth players that have interest just because I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to have to. We got Hendon Hooker. That's interesting. I feel like he could be a starter someday. I don't know why. I have a good gut feeling about him, though. But let's see, I'll let everyone else go, and we're going to be doing more in free agency than I expected. I thought we would finish like 8-9, 7-10, not 4-13. Let's see. Oh yeah, and by the way, free agency year 1 in fantasy drafts is always horrible, so probably not going to do much this first year. It's all running backs. There is nothing else. Sam Darnold, I'm surprised he's not, or no, that's Matthew Stafford. I don't know why I thought that was Sam Darnold. I'm surprised he's not getting even more offers than just 6. I guess he is 37 though. Ooh, wait, I wonder if one of those receivers are in here that were up there for Offensive Player of the Year. I don't see one, but I would have thought about it. But all right, I think we'll just get straight to the draft. I'm just using normal draft classes, by the way. Not normal in strength, but I'm not using the real life ones. But if you want me to do another fantasy draft rebuild or CPU picked one or a themed one or whatever, let me know if you would want me to use the real life draft classes. I figured I've used them enough lately and it wouldn't really be that fitting for this, but I could. Let me know. I mean, I know what the answer there is going to be, but still, let me know. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to pick up Omar Spates. Completely random UDFA. Not that random. He's from LSU, but I just wasn't even on my radar. Did well for the Rams. Where have I heard that before? We'll see if we can get him, I guess. We have UFL legend Dondre Tillman, however you say it. We have should-be UFL player Jamal Adams. Ooh, Jake Bates. Speaking of UFL legends, kind of. Wasn't he like technically not that good in the UFL though? Like he had some long field goals, but a really bad field goal percentage. I'm kind of surprised he's been good in the NFL. I'm yapping a lot. Anyways, let's see if these two want to sign. If we don't get either, I don't really care. We do get Spates. I did not think we would. All right, let's get to the draft. But in the draft, we pick at number 4. I'm surprised it's not even a touch higher, especially knowing how average every team usually does in Madden. Usually there are like, every team is between 6-11 and 10-7, and then there are like 6 outliers, which I guess maybe was the case here. But no, there were a lot of good teams this year, surprisingly. Ooh, okay. My full plan this offseason was to get a new pass rusher to pair with Jared Verse, but there's not a good one. There are a lot projected to go high, but none that actually look good, which is a problem. So I'm gonna pass on all these guys. The defensive ends look a little better. Chad Corbett, I would consider maybe, but not here. So let's just take the best value I can find. Ooh, there's some good safeties too. Matthew Bolden, not Matthew Golden. Trey Moorhead looks pretty good, but I would rather go, well, we gotta see if he's still available by our pick, but I think I'm gonna go with Dominic Barker. He looks even better than the guy who's projected to go before him in Doug Battles, unless Battles is more athletic. Maybe. He's slightly faster and stronger, but Barker has a lot better change direction, slightly better agility. Battles has slightly better acceleration. I think Barker's better, but Battles is a year younger. I hope both don't go, but that's very possible. Okay, that would be very hard for that to happen. I don't think either are gonna go. It's all trench players. So I think that makes this decision easy, unless there's something I'm really missing with Battles. I guess some of these A ratings could be like 95 pluses, but I don't see it. Is he better after the catch? Not really. He's about the same. I think they're gonna be like the same overall, so maybe I should go Barker because he's a year younger, but whatever. I'll go Dominic Barker. Ranked 5, okay. Hidden Dev, thankfully, from Washington State. Love to see that. Don't know why there are always so many Washington State players in Madden drafts, but sure. Wait, do the Panthers have a second round pick? I always try to pick teams in fantasy draft rebuilds that have all their original picks. I think they have the Rams second, right? Yeah. Okay, well, that's the price you pay for playing Madden, I guess. I don't know why it doesn't reset draft picks in fantasy drafts where everything is reset, but sure, whatever. I already don't see a good pass rusher. You need to take edge in round 1 or you will not find a good one in Madden. As simple as that, which I guess that's kind of the case in real life. Oh, this corner though. Anthony Cleveland, this guy looks really good. I do use normal draft class strength for corners now. I use strong for everything else except QB. I switched that to normal too. Ooh, Geo Street looks pretty good. Great speed. What's his pursuit? C to F. Okay, well, he looks pretty good. I mean, the problem with this team was defense. It was more run D than pass D. It changed after the midseason, but let's help the defense out in any way we can. Let's go Anthony Cleveland. We don't even really need offense, to be fair. We got the one thing we needed, which was a number 2 receiver. So let's go Anthony Cleveland. Ranked 6. Got him at 49. Normal dev, of course. All right. He's good at least. But all right, round 3, last pick I'll show. Clint Ware? I mean, that's the question every guy's trying to find out. Did I say A finesse moves? Hold on. Oh, but he's horrible at everything else. Okay, cool. Well, I don't think he's great. Might be draftable though, unless it's... I still don't know. Are ratings just compared to the rest of the players in the class? Like, does he actually have good finesse moves? Or is it just that everyone else is horrible? I mean, there are other speed rushers, so I would guess it's good. I would have to. Is that one strong safety still here? Geo Street? He is. Is he better than Kinchins, though? Probably. He's probably about the same. He's probably around a 75 to 77. We'll take him. Ranked 18. I think that was a good call. And Hidden Dev. There's our starting safety. Almost didn't even pick him. And you know what? We're kind of hot right now. Let me take one more pick until we cool off. Okay, you know what? I am gonna take Dylan Crowley. I am too curious. He's probably really bad. Probably really, really bad. Like 62 overall bad. But I'm very curious. What is he gonna look like? Okay, 231. That's better than I expected, as terrible as that is. Normal dev. I was hoping he would have hidden. A lot of the time, when there are players with one good trait, they'll have hidden, but he doesn't. Oh well. But okay, here's how we did in the draft. It was a good one to start out. Good for the first 3 picks. I got a little bit creative after that, if you couldn't tell, but Barker, immediate starting number 2 receiver. Might even force him to be the number 1 to see if we can get him offensive rookie of the year. We'll see. I wouldn't imagine there are going to be too many rookies starting this year after the fantasy draft. I don't know how that's going to play out. We'll see. But Cleveland, he'll be immediate number 1 corner because Garrett Williams is in the slot. I wish he had Hidden Dev, but whatever. And then Geo Street, immediate starting safety. So I 3 for 3 on starters. Again, after that, it got a little bit interesting. I wanted a defensive end, or I wanted an edge rusher with hidden dev. We did not get that. I took 3, or I guess 4. None of these guys had hidden. The CPU picked a running back. Fun, that's what we needed. Did that say Washington State? No, Youngstown State. Okay. There was another Washington State player, of course. I don't know why there are so many Washington State players, but sure, I'll take it. I sure wish they had this good of players in real life. But yeah, no hidden devs, unfortunately, on these guys. I also found an interesting player. One of these guys was interesting. Marquise Jones. He was kind of built, or I guess built is the wrong choice of words. He has the same ratings as one of the classic, like, 6'1", 6 foot, 5'11" power rushers in Madden. But he's 6'2". He's like the tallest one of these guys I've ever seen. But he still has the, like, 55 block shedding. I swear it's always exactly 55, but like 54 play rec. But good power moves and bad strength. Where's his strength? Oh yeah, 68 strength. Like, just a weird player. But he's like the tallest one I've seen of that archetype, I guess you would call it. I don't know. This game's weird, if you couldn't tell. Also, wait, one more thing. I'm yapping a lot, but Boogie Dukes may be the best name I've ever seen. That's up there. That's elite. He's not good, but was worth the pick for name value alone. But all right, here's a look at the team heading into year 2. Up to an 84, we have a very different offense than defense, obviously. 89 offense, still only an 80 overall defense. Now it is better. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. got star dev. Jared Verse obviously got superstar. I don't think we gained any other dev traits, but I guess it's better than nothing. But I mean, there really isn't much for me to go over here. Really, the only addition we had on offense was Dominic Barker, which is a pretty big addition, to be fair. Just one player, though, at least in terms of starters. And then on defense, it also didn't really change too much. I mean, we did add Cleveland, Street, Spates, so definitely more on defense. I'm really curious to see how this team is gonna do, especially after that first year. I still don't know what happened in the second half of the year, going from 3-4 to 4-13. It looked like my prediction of being an okay team was gonna be right, and then it wasn't. I feel like we're gonna have almost the opposite type of season this year, just knowing how Madden works. We're probably gonna start like 2-5 and finish 9-8, 8-9. That's my official prediction, so we'll see what happens. Okay, we are once again 3-4, slightly better than I predicted. This is obviously giving me flashbacks to last year, but okay, this year our stats, I don't know what I just clicked on, re-signings, which those looked scary, but I'm gonna ignore that for now. Our stats look a lot better this year than last year. Our pass D is still horrible, but our offense is really good. I don't know what is wrong with our pass defense. Might have to address that at the end of the year, might have to overhaul it, but we're not all that high up for points per game. I guess we're pretty high, so maybe I take that back. But wait, it said 18th for points per game allowed? That was not 18th. Oh, was I looking at offense? I was looking at offense. Never mind. Whatever. Really, all we can do is hope we get better on the defensive side of the ball. I do want to see, oh, JJ McCarthy still not doing that well. Okay, I think I found the issue. Edge 2, Chris Braswell, half a sack through 7 games as a full-time starter. Well, I don't know about full-time. Oh no, full-time. He's playing more than Jared Verse is. All right, maybe I should ditch Chris Braswell. I think he's a good player in real life, apparently not in Madden. I might start one of the rookies. Maybe not Marquise Jones, because he's not a scheme fit, but he has developed. Maybe Marquise Jones. Yeah, I think I'll do that. But let me see, who has bad stats in coverage? Blankenship, 1 pass deflection, no picks. Has the same stats as Mike Hall Jr. Same with Clark Phillips. All right, our secondary is just terrible, I guess. I don't know. But we don't really have replacements for any of those guys. I guess I could try like Terrion Arnold instead of Clark Phillips and Cam Kinchins instead of Reed Blankenship. We'll see how that goes. No, how about this? I'll go Kinchins at strong safety, Street at free, I think would be better. And then Marquise Jones at right outside linebacker and rush end 2. Okay. I think our defense should get better now. I hope. But for re-signings, Panay Sewell, Mike Hall Jr., Cameron Kinchins, Clark Phillips, Reed Blankenship, could be worse, but I definitely wish these guys were interested. I guess I'll go very player-friendly, 7 years, $225 mil for Sewell. He doesn't take it. I can't fully blame him, but also with that money, I kind of can. But 4 years, 52 for Mike Hall Jr. He takes it. Cameron Kinchins, we'll see how he does in the second half of the year, because not interested, only normal dev, but he did develop a ton year 1. Everyone else we'll see. These have been a really weird first 2 seasons. Maybe just because I don't use the Panthers much in franchise, maybe just because I don't do fantasy drafts as much anymore, but it's felt different, I guess in a good way. But all right, let's get to the end of the year, and we'll see if we choke once again. Okay, we do not choke. We go 9-8. Is that what I predicted? I think I said 8-9 or 9-8, right? At the start of the year. I can usually predict what's gonna happen. Again, I don't know what happened the first year. This is more what I expected the first 2 years. JJ McCarthy bounced back big time. 4,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, only 12 picks, which, I mean, 12 is a little high, but I'm gonna take that with everything else. And only sacked 20 times? I guess he had only been sacked 7 at the midseason or whatever it said. I don't remember, but something like that. But Bijan Robinson, I mean, again, I think he's the best player in the game. 1,200 yards, 5.6 per carry. Either him or Jonathan Taylor or like Lamar, Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, or Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, one of those guys that shatter the sack record. But yeah, Bijan, at least for offense, might be the best. Also, Will Shipley, 4.3 per carry, 10 touchdowns. Oh, he had a very long. Okay, that definitely inflated the average number, but still. Ooh, and Dominic Barker was our #1 receiver, 1,000 yards in 10 receiving touchdowns. I'm scared to see what his dev trade is. It might only be star because he is a playmaker receiver, but we'll see. But London also hit 1,600 for Washington, Coker, and Robinson. But blocking, Talise Fuaga joins the all-castration team. Allows 0 sacks in a year. Really, our only bad lineman was Steve Avila. 5 from center, that isn't even horrible though. 4 from right guard isn't great, but the rest, what a group. This is like maybe the least sacks I've ever seen in Madden, 20. That's pretty good. But Jeremiah Trotter Jr., is he gonna win Defensive Player of the Year? 125 tackles, 6 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, 5 picks, 10 pass deflections, a forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. He might win Defensive Player of the Year. He's gonna be up there. If he isn't, that's a crime. What a year. But 13 TFLs for Verse led the team, but sacks, not all that good. 7.5 for Verse, 4.5 for Hall, 4.5 for Murphy, 2.5 for okay, Marquise Jones, 2. All right, he played 860 snaps. Do I cut him now? Do I cut Braswell now? I don't know, something. I don't love our defense. I thought it would be good because the Panthers always beat me in simulation in the playoffs, and they always overperform, but it has not been great here. Go figure. But like I said, 5 picks for Trotter, 3 for Arnold in half a season. I guess a little over half, 700 snaps, but still. 2 for Kinchins, 1 for Street. I don't know if we're gonna win any awards this year. Jaden Daniels wins MVP on the Bills, though. That's cool. Jared Goff on the Cowboys. But let's see. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Justin Jefferson. Again, Laviska Shenault in Madden. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Bijan at #6. That's cool. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. does win Defensive Player of the Year. That's... Again, only on the BrandonTS channel will you see stuff like that. I mean, yeah, definitely. I don't think I've ever seen Jeremiah Trotter do well in Madden simulation, so that might be a first. But Dominic Barker does win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Never mind what I said about no awards. We win 2. I just thought Trotter would be like 3rd for Defensive Player of the Year, and Barker would be about 2nd or 3rd for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but thankfully didn't go that way. But Defensive Rookie of the Year, would we have anyone up here? Maybe like 10. Okay, we do have Street at #9, so pretty good call. Carlos Christmas. Okay, never mind. This might be the best name I've ever seen. That's up there. Or Brandon Wiener. But all right. Okay, well, it looks like the Offensive Rookie of the Year didn't even matter in terms of dev traits. Dominic Barker just had X Factor. He has a 93 medium route. He's 30 injury, apparently. Why does he have 30 injury? I mean, I'm very glad we don't have injuries on here. We'd have a Kevin White situation, probably. What pick was Kevin White? Was he like probably around 4? I think he was like 5. This is gonna bother me. What was he? He was 7. I was gonna say 7. I swear. I started to say 7 and I switched it to 5. Whatever, who cares? For the rest of the dev traits, though, I don't think we got any great ones. Street only star, but that was what I expected. We didn't really have that many hidden, actually. I think we only had 2, right? That's kind of tough, but it is what it is. But we're gonna be taking on the Saints in the wild card. I'm thinking about changing our defensive playbook. I don't know what makes the Panthers so good. I can't really point to either offense or defense as being like the reason the Panthers do well in simulation. The offense has been fine. The defense has been kind of bad. We've had a good run D, or at least we did this year, not last year. I don't know. We'll give it one more year if our defense kind of sucks again. I mean, to be fair, it's not good on paper, but I've had worse defenses do better, so I don't know. It's fine for now, but let's see if we can beat the Saints in the wild card. We do have 3 overall on them, and we do 33-21. I completely thought we were going to lose that game. I am shocked we won. Also, interesting team here. They have Dak, so I'm shocked we won that. They also have Joe Milton. They have the Cowboys QB room. Okay, I think I see why we won. They probably didn't have a run game. I don't think Jonathan Brooks would do well in this game. No, just you have to be an already well-established running back in real life in the NFL to actually do well in simulation for some reason. Also, of course, the classic 3-4 defensive end, 4-3 defensive end, 3-4 outside linebacker, 4-3 outside linebacker with, oh, this actually is a 4-3 outside linebacker. Okay, I'm surprised. The scheming, man. Either teams need to have better logic of scheme fit in Madden, or we need edge to be a position rather than like outside linebacker. Like, we need new positioning. It's outdated, kinda. Anyways, I don't think we're gonna win this game. We are gonna be taking on the Eagles. Now, we maybe should win this game based on overall. Oh, wait, I almost forgot to check. Are we already the highest overall team? We've been higher than everyone else I've seen. Wait, I think I saw an 88. No, that was an 86. Okay, I think we already are 81, the Colts. I think we already are the highest overall team. We are. Pretty easily. I don't even see an 87. We're the best by 2. How did we only go 9-8? Maybe the Panthers playbooks aren't that good. I don't know. We'll give it another year. But Eagles, I don't think we're gonna win this, but we should. We don't. But at least it was close. I can't complain too much. It's only year 2. We still have at least a couple more years. So let's get into the off-season. This is gonna be an interesting off-season. We can make up some ground here in terms of performance if there are good free agents. But we had a Eagles-Broncos Super Bowl. That's weird. Could happen in the future, the near future, but the Broncos win it 28-14, it looks like, even though that was the opposite of what it said up there. Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP for the, oh yeah, he's on the Broncos. That's something. But Penei Sewell, I guess we're gonna have to overpay. 7 years, 252 mil. Wasn't this the Deshaun Watson contract? Or no, it was 5 years, 230. Yeah, this is only 36 per year, I think. Is that right? Yeah, 36. But let's see if he takes it. He doesn't take it. Well, guess what, bud? You're getting tagged. You're not leaving. But Cameron Kinchens got star dev. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, he did have 2 picks, 7 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 recoveries. We did have a decent amount of fumbles forced, it looks like. I mean, I'll offer him very player-friendly if he takes it. 6 years, 89. He doesn't. We might be able to re-sign him, but he's probably going to have a big market. I don't really trust him to repeat. Maybe that's weird, but I just know how inconsistent players are in Madden, so I guess I'm fine with that. But Phillips I'll let go, Blankenship I'll let go, everyone here I'll let go, I think. Will Shipley, he had a good amount of touchdowns, I guess. He rejects it. All right, why does everyone hate us? Even though it says they're pretty interested, they're just like, yeah, I said that, but I'm leaving anyways. Do I not have like points spent in Master Negotiator or whatever? I don't think I've spent points manually a single time in Madden 25, so maybe that's not a good thing, but oh well. But yep, that was a good call. This is not a great free agent class, and Cameron Kinchens has 19 offers. Yeah, that's unlucky. Can we even compete? Oh, wait, we can pretty easily. I mean, I know I said he would probably be inconsistent, but I mean, I wouldn't complain about this. This is cheaper than what we offered. This is just player friendly. How much is it? About like 13 per year. And I should sign a corner, but who? Garrett Williams did good in the slot, so I wouldn't want Smith. I mean, Charvarius Ward also has a ton of offers, and he's 30. Did he actually have 23 pass deflections in 2023? Or is that wrong? I mean, look, even if it was 13 and they typed that in wrong, it might have been 23, but even if it was 13, look how low Madden numbers are compared to that. 4 in a full starting year, 7, and that's like the best you'll ever see in Madden for a corner. But all right, I don't see a good pass rusher here. Zadarius Smith, but he's 33. He would probably do well. Maybe we should just go for someone who would do well. Oh, never mind. Okay, he sucks. He's usually good in Madden, though. That's weird. I guess I'm just not gonna do anything in free agency other than try to add Cameron Kinchens or re-sign him, so technically not adding anyone, which I guess I'm fine with. We'll just wait for free agency to be good. But Kinchens, does he want to sign? Maybe he doesn't. Oh, he really hates us. Okay, cool. All right, let's sim the week. He probably won't be signed. Oh, he did. Okay, he does sign with us. Cool. But all right, we pick at 25, and I think you could probably guess what position we want to take. None of them are really worth where we pick, though. Oh, I completely missed Marquise Killings. I guess he would be the pick. He's projected to go 45. I didn't necessarily miss him. I just, for some reason, assumed he would be like a top 10 pick. Usually the first guy on the board is at a position. Also, I need to pause the draft clock. A minute and a half is wild. Or I think it's 2. I mean, I get it, just so the drafts don't take forever, but need to pause that. But yeah, we're not going to trade up. I think I know who we're going to take if he does last. He's supposed to last. He is still here. Marquise Killings. I'm not even going to trade down. I guess we could maybe, but I don't want to risk it. I'm just going to take him here. Elite traits. Top 10 talent. Does he have hidden? He does. Okay, good. I kind of figured he would, but you never know. Not the best against the run, but must be a very, very good pass rusher. Probably like 84 finesse as a rookie. If he's that bad against the run and still a top 10 talent, we'll see though. I guess he does have elite speed, so that probably makes up for it, and a few other elite things. Ooh, but who are we gonna take round 2? I already don't see anyone. This tight end looks pretty good, but we don't need a tight end at all. Could go with a lineman, I guess, but our O-line was the best part of our team. I see some like late round pass rushers, at least one. I already don't know what to do. It's not like we don't have needs, but I just don't really see anyone that good. Ooh, I do see corners though. Ooh, who's better, Rab or Fowler? Man, I wish Rab was scouted. We don't know his zone or press, but we do know that he's slower than Fowler and a slightly worse jumper, but has much better change of direction and agility and better acceleration. And he is a year older. I think I'm going to go Rab, though. He looks pretty good, being that athletic. Hopefully those two B to Ds are Bs. I would be hopeful and guess they are. Hope they are. Let's take him. Ranked 13. Looks like they were. And he has hidden. Okay, cool. Surprises me for a corner. The only problem is we don't really need... I mean, we do need corner, but we do have Terry and Arnold who did well. We'll see who we start, though. I might start Arnold and bench someone. We'll see. But after that, I mean, it gets even harder. Pause, I guess. Well, that's a lot of elite strength. Holy. 6 elite strength defensive tackles. 355 pound Tyler Dickerson. 377 pound Von Burris. I don't know if either are that great, but they're big, that's for sure. Big and greedy. Honestly, I might just trade this for picks next year. I never do that, but I might. I don't really know how to trade picks for next year picks, I'm gonna be honest. I never know what value to get. Does it go around up? But it seems like a third to a second. I don't think that really happens. I think if you have like a 6th, you can get a 5th next year. But can you get a 2nd next year for a 3rd? I don't think so. But to be fair, I do remember a time where the Broncos, I think, traded 2/3 to the Seahawks for 1/3. So maybe that is about right. I'll get a 2nd next year for this pick. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. I'll take a 3rd or a 2nd that I think will be later. Do I want to take the Eagles? Because they're probably going to win the Super Bowl. But no, that's about fair. That's what I should do. So we'll take what should be a late 2nd next year for this 3rd. I don't know if I've ever done that on the channel, but I just legitimately, I know what our needs are, and we need nothing but our needs. That sounds like a riddle or something. I don't know. Pat Hart, we'll take him. Last pick I'll show for the draft. He's whatever. That's, I mean, he does have hidden. Another classic F block shedding, probably poor strength. I didn't look at it, but yeah, 71 strength. The undersized defensive end, that also isn't that undersized. 6'1", that's not bad. Not as bad as 5'11". But here's how we did in the draft. Pretty good for picking at 25 in each round. Marquise Killings, 78 overall. What is his, okay, 82 finesse moves, 86 strength, 90 excel, or 86 speed, 90 excel, 83 strength. Is he gonna drop at outside linebacker? I think if he will, it'll only be 1. He does not drop. He stays at 78. Cool. That's why I like taking speed rusher defensive ends over power rushers if I'm going to move them to a 3-4 outside linebacker, because they don't drop in overall. So yeah, very good pick there. And I mean, pairing him with Verse has been a little underwhelming, but hopefully getting a good pass rusher across from him should help. But Rab, 77 overall, we gotta find a way to start him. We'll see where, but Pat Hart, he's definitely going to drop at outside linebacker, probably by 3, which is kind of weird because he doesn't really rely on strength. You would think this type of player would not drop. Maybe it's just the block shedding. Oh, he only drops by 1. Okay, that's fine. I might also trade some of our backup pass rushers away. I don't know how much we could get for him. maybe like a 5th. We'll see though. But yeah, good draft for us. Was it a good draft overall? It kind of seemed like one. It just didn't work out for our positions. It was very good. 84 overall, Josh Barnett to the Patriots. 99 jumping, 97 speed, 96 excel, 92 spec catch, 282s, 281s, and an 80. All, of course, went before we picked, but I mean, that happens. Oh, there was a good corner round too. Oh, well, ours was just as good, and he went after this guy. Also, Fowler, I guess he maybe would have been the better pick because he's a year younger than Rab, but I mean, they're both 77s. Oh, and he has normal, so we made the right pick. So we did almost as well as we could have. That's kind of crazy. We'll take it. No, wait, I think we legitimately did as well as we could have without trading up. It looks like Marquise Killings was the highest overall player still available, and Channing Rab was tied as the highest overall player still available with that pick. So we did as well as we could have. But all right, I'm going to trade Chris Braswell to the Cardinals for a 5th round pick. I think I'm going to trade all of our depth edge rushers for like 5th or 6th round picks. BJ Ojulari, what's he ranked? 36, so he's borderline starting caliber. Probably would be if he ended up as a starter. I'll still probably only get a 5th for him though. Oh god, there's some teams that are hurting. I mean, this is interdivision, but oh well, I don't really care. We'll take a 5th for BJ Ojulari from the Falcons. He'll start for them. I didn't realize how many starters we had as backups on this team. And then it looks like Braylon Trice would start for the Steelers. I'm fine taking a 6th because he is a little bit older than the others, but he'll start for them. So we'll have a lot of late round picks this year. I mean, just a lot of picks in general. Look at this. 11 picks. This is how, I've said this before, if I were for some reason an actual GM, which I would in no way be good enough to do that, this is what I would do every year. I would just get as many picks as possible. I would trade down a lot. The fans of whatever team I was the GM for would hate me, but draft picks are basically lottery tickets anyways, so why not get as many as possible? I mean, obviously there's less value to these, but like, still, you never know. Even with like the 1st overall pick. Look at some of the 1st overall picks in recent years and really think how many of those were actually worth it. That's all I'm saying. But all right, heading into year 3, we are up to an 89 overall team. I know I've said it so many times, but this is a very interesting team. This is almost the opposite of most teams I end up with in rebuilds because the O-line is good and actually playing well, but we have a quarterback who I thought would be good but isn't doing amazing. We have an amazing run game to start out. Usually we have to trade for a running back, but our pass rush isn't all that good, which I guess can happen to be fair, but I mean, we have good players. Also, Killings went up 2 overall in the preseason, so we'll see what his dev trade is. Could be good, probably just star, but I thought Barker would have star and he had X factor, so maybe not. Other than that though, I will start Rab. Guess I'll bench Cleveland. I didn't feel great about that, but to be fair, he didn't have a pick last year. Did have 5 pass deflections though. Maybe that's the wrong choice. But no, Arnold was better than that. Had less pass deflections, but 3 picks. And then Garrett Williams. Ooh, no picks, 3 pass deflections. Should we start, I don't know, Cleveland in the slot? Someone in the slot? I don't know. Whoever's the highest overall there, I'll put as the starter. We'll see. But we should be very, very good this year. What season is it? Is it 2026? Okay, it's 26. I still feel fine about the team. We'll probably end up doing 5 years. I was just going to do 4, but I don't want to finish on 2027 because I think we know how that's going to go. But all right, let's get to the end, or not to the end, to the midseason point, and we'll see how this team does. This might be an underperformance year, but to be fair, I feel like the first 2 years were kind of underperformance years, so hopefully not. All right, it might be time for some new playbooks. We are 1-6 at the midseason. The Lions are 0-6, but to be fair, that's more warranted. They're only an 85. We're an 89. What are we doing? How much are we the highest overall team by? There is an 87 now, but we're still 2 overall higher than them. The Cardinals are an 87 too. This game is so cooked, man. How do we fix this? What has been the issue? Is it just randomly blocking? Why is it lagging? Our offense isn't that bad, but it is our defense. All right, do we go full 4-3? What was the playbook I decided was good? I think I thought the Raiders playbook was good for a second, and then it started to fall off the more I used it. The Bills, it's kind of the same deal, but over a longer period of time. That maybe still is my favorite, but I've definitely seen some not great things from it. Patriots, you know, I don't mind the Patriots playbook. I don't know if we would be a great fit for it with Jared Verse as one of our outside linebackers, but the Raiders, that does seem kind of nice. We'll try the Raiders. If it doesn't get better, I'll change to Bills, and I'll move the defense to a 4-3. Because, yeah, this defense has not been good a single time. The offense looks fine. Bijan kind of having a down year. Steve Avila hasn't been that good. I mean, our O-line as a whole has been really good, but not Avila. And still, pass rush has been horrible. And we have 2 picks on the year. Like, what do I do about that? We've added good players that just don't play well. I mean, we just got our first win of the season. We destroyed the Buccaneers, so maybe we're trending up, but I don't think so. I can't trust one game when we've lost 6 before that. Oh, man. I'll set defensive... Should I go D-end or D-tackle? I feel like I'm better at noticing good defensive ends compared to defensive tackles. I'll go defensive tackle. I don't know which would help us more. I don't. Maybe I should go defensive end because if I take the defensive tackles, we'll move them to defensive end anyways. Nah, we'll just leave defensive tackle. That's fine. I like how I said I don't like Byron Murphy at nose and then I keep him at nose, but to be fair, we don't really have one. So, I mean, I guess we have Dukes, but he's a 72 overall. This has been, you know, I said this was kind of different than normal Madden rebuilds. I take that back because we massively underperformed so far. But we have to re-sign Panay Sewell. Is anybody interested? Does anyone want to play for the team? Because I might just trade everyone off right now if they don't. We have to re-sign Panay Sewell, who's not interested at all. Andrew Thomas, who's not interested at all. Byron Murphy, who has a tiny bit of interest. Talise Fuaga at least has yellow interest. Jalen Coker, he's a starter, not interested at all. Any other starters? I guess Cam Little and Braden Mann. But all right, Panay Sewell, 7 years, 239. He takes it this time when we're 1-6, but didn't take more money when we were 3-4. Okay, sure. But 5 years, 166 for Andrew Thomas. I'm a little bit iffy on this one because I don't trust him, but he does take it. And Byron Murphy, I'll go 481. Guess not. Fuaga, I'll go 358. He takes it. This has been a rebuild of all time. Let's see how we end up doing. All right, we end up going 7-10. Our defense did get better. It still wasn't good. It looks like we were 11th for pass D and 20th for run D, because I think that number's flipped for some reason, because nothing works in Madden. What were we for run D? We were 18th. Okay. Only had 29 total sacks. I still don't like that. We at least had a decent amount of picks somehow. All right, what happened? JJ McCarthy was a monster. Still a few too many picks, but I'm not going to complain too much. Bijan, great. 1,000 yards for Barker. Only 800 for London. 600 for Washington and Coker. All right, Steve Avila wasn't great, but the rest of the line was. But on defense, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. just might be the best player to ever live. I mean, look at these numbers. He might win Defensive Player of the Year again. 11 TFLs for Murphy and Hall. 10.5 sacks for Verse at least. 7.5 for Murphy. 5 for Killings. I thought he would do a little better. He got a pick, I guess, for whatever that's worth, as an edge rusher who only got 5 sacks. But 3 picks for Trotter and Kinchins. 2 for Mustafa as a sub linebacker. He did really well. And then 1 for 4 different players. So, I mean, our defense got better at least. Did it get good enough to keep the playbook? Maybe. But Josh Allen wins MVP on the Eagles and Offensive Player of the Year. Laviska Shenault. I don't know what to do with that information. Jonathan Brooks, Jordan Whittington, Malcolm Kuntz wins Defensive Player of the Year for the NFC. What kind of... What are we doing? What, is this real? Like, is this a real video game? What are we doing, man? Is this just some very, 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 very elaborate joke? It feels like it sometimes. It really does. We have a Rams Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's fine. At least it's not a division rival. But did we have anyone? Okay, Killings wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. But no Trotter for Defensive Player of the Year. That's wild. And yeah, nobody for Offensive Player of the Year. Let's just forget this year ever happened. I feel like that's the best outcome. We're up to a 91 overall with a 95 offense, and we go 7-10. The Broncos win another Super Bowl. What's happening? I mean, they at least have Patrick Mahomes, but all right, for re-signings, I'll re-sign Byron Murphy. If he wants to, I'll go player friendly, 4 years, 99. That is not cheap, but he doesn't take it. Well, guess what? You're getting tagged. It's not cheap, but we kind of need him. Mustafa, I don't know if he'll repeat. If he got star dev, I would re-sign him, but I'll go player friendly, 5 years, 36. Whatever. I think he was just a product of the scheme anyways, so that's fine. Everyone else, I don't really care. I mean, Cam Little, sure. Did I say he's only 23? Oh, he's 24 now. Doesn't mean he's 20 in real life. Or I guess 21. At least he was here. But all right, still not a good free agent class. We should get one eventually, right? I would guess so. What do we even want this year? Also, Mac Jones has developed, but no dev trait. That's weird. He's been a starter for the Bengals. He threw 29 picks one year. Usually he does way too well in Madden, not here. But I think I'm just good on free agency unless we want to go Cedric Van Pran, Granger. I forgot he added the Granger. That's too long of a last name. 4 names is too many. Ooh, Trayvon Walker is here. He had one, or no, this was real life. He hasn't really had a great season in simulation. Looks like he's been playing 3-4 D end for the Patriots. I guess he's kind of been the Keon White role. I can't think of his name. The guy who came right before Keon White in that role. Why can't I think of his name? I don't know. Either way, hasn't done great. I thought about drafting him though. He just got picked right before I was gonna take him, so that's tough. But I don't think there's anyone I want. I guess Mustafa did well, but again, I think that was kind of just a scheme thing, but we'll see. He doesn't sign. He does now. Okay, cool. Let's get to the draft and let's see if we can fix the rest of the issues with this team, if I even know what the issues really are. I mean, center, and I don't know what else. Ooh, Trotter got X Factor. Killings got Superstar. That's cool. Obviously for Defensive Rookie of the Year. But I don't know what else to add in the draft. I guess we'll find out. But all right, we'll pick up another 5th round pick. We'll trade Terrion Arnold for a 5th. I looked to see like what the problem was with our secondary, and I just added up like pass deflections and interceptions, which maybe isn't the best way to do it. I guess the best thing to see would be catches allowed, but that's not a thing in Madden anymore. I swear it was at one point, but I don't think it has been for a few years. So I traded him away. We still probably need a number 2 pass rusher unless Killings takes a big step, but we'll see. But all right, in the draft, we pick at number 8 at least. For some reason, I was operating like we had a later round first. I mean, we should have, to be fair, but we don't. And there are some pretty good players looking right at us. Our focus scouts were pretty good. Or private workouts, whatever. I private worked out, whatever. LaShawn Fox, Connor Brackett, and Von McAllister. They're all pretty good. No top 5s, but all pretty good. Is there an obvious top 5? I mean, maybe Deontay Davis or Deontay Rice, 2 Deontays. Ooh, Rice might be better. Oh, definitely. Well, not definitely. Davis is a run support safety. Those are pretty good in Madden. We might have to take a safety, even though that's really, really not what we need. I mean, I think we just need to add good players on defense. So if we can find good players, we should take good players. Rocket science, I know. Let's get to pick 8. I hope they're still available, but they might go because they look really good. If they do go, it's not the end of the world, but it looks like they are still available. I mean, that, you know, taking a safety top 10 when we just went 7-10, maybe not the best thing ever. Now, do we go Davis, who ran a 4.67, or Rice, who's the better athlete? I think both are top 5 talents, so I don't think we can really go wrong here, but I'm gonna go Davis with the idea of playing him over Mustafa. Rank 2 in the class. Hidden dev, he's gonna be a linebacker for us. We'll take that. But round 2, I think I'll go receiver here. I don't really see that good of a linebacker. That's the only other thing I would do. Allman looks pretty good, 2nd to 3rd, but like, I'm going for value here over anything else, over need, over whatever, which I guess maybe we shouldn't, but I don't know. Ooh, who's better, McAllister or Ford? Okay, well, Ford is a deep threat with good speed, solid excel. Let's go McAllister. Gonna have normal dev. Maybe we should go Ford. He at least might have hidden. Let's go Ford. Rank 35, hidden dev, beautiful. Oh, and the Eagles did a lot worse this year. We end up with a mid-second from the Eagles. So do we go defensive tackle? There are a lot of 1st to 2nd round defensive tackles. Oh, even UDFA, Jalen Wilson, 341 pounds. What should we do here? I might go Daniel Curtis. He looks pretty good, but I don't think he really helps us. What would help us though? I don't know. We need a pass rusher, but we're not gonna find one at this point. I mean, we might not even need one, that's the thing, but we might. Chad McCree looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna go with a lineman here. Unfortunately, this is a horrible center class, at least the ones that are left. Is there a good guard? Oh, those are some F ratings for Josh Lewis. Okay, I think Marquise Aldridge is gonna be the pick. Elite strength, elite agility, 4 or 5 A ratings. Very good agile blocker. That is a scheme fit. Let's take him. But I didn't think he would be that good. Ranked 7, hidden dev. Not to pat myself on the back too hard, but this has been some pretty good drafting, especially for going 7-10 this past year, only having one barely winning season. Let's hope that changes this year, or I won't be very happy. But all right, let's go with Aaron Spruce. I mean, we could just wait and take Jalen Wilson, but is there anyone else I would take here? That's the thing. I mean, we could go Daquan Mims. Who was the one I decided looked good? I don't think it was Mims. Oh yeah, it was Chad McCree. I would keep him at defensive end, probably. Would he be a good defensive end? He's not that good of a pass rusher, but he's a very good run defender. Yeah, sure. Rank 51, he's pretty good. Normal dev, though. All right, we're just trying to get this defense right, one way or another. Let's go Aaron Spruce. Rank 33, hidden dev, 99 strength. I wish I looked what his reps were first, but oh well, 99 strength, we'll take it. Probably had 47 bench reps. And then we have 4 fifth-round picks. I'm surprised it's not even more. I don't see an undersized defensive end this year. I mean, I do, but he looks horrible. Bobby Hamilton. No thanks. We have some weird athletes here. Joseph Pierman, elite speed, elite acceleration, but decent change direction and marginal to poor agility, which means poor, I think. Yeah. For some reason, it doesn't show poor in ratings unless you click on them. It just shows marginal to poor. I don't know why. I guess I'll go Dom Calhoun. He looks fine. I don't know what the point of me taking him is. Yeah, he's not great. But all right, I'll take like 3 more defensive tackles and we'll see how we did. But all right, here's how we did in the draft. It was pretty good. Deontay Davis is an 81 overall, so this wasn't the best draft class ever. Of course, the year we have a billion picks, but he's a good player. He'll be a starter at linebacker. Should I move him to linebacker? I guess I will. He's only 206, but he is not. His stats don't reflect that. Drops to a 78. That's fine. He'll be our number 2. Bobby Ford, he'll be a starter at receiver. Marquise Aldridge dropped from a 79 to a 77 at center, even though he has a pretty good center build and he's agile. I don't get that one, but sure. And then Chad McCree, he's fine. Aaron Spruce, 75. Calhoun's not great, but I took Jalen Wilson. He's a 75. I took a blocking tight end here who's a 69, but the CPU, someone who doesn't show up on the screen for some reason, Jake Jackson, 71 overall blocking tight end. So the CPU made a better pick than me. He's 80 speed. This might be the fastest blocking tight end I've ever seen. But yeah, he's good. So we have 3 blocking tight ends now, including Darnell Washington. So very good draft. The guys we drafted went down in overall a little bit. Would have been number 2 if I didn't move him. Was better than Rice, so I guess we made the right pick there, especially with where we were going to play him. There was a 4th round, 78 overall receiver. Wish I took a receiver in the 4th instead of the 5th. He only had normal dev, but would have been even a higher overall than who we took in the 2nd round. That's wild. But all right, let's get into year 4, second to last year, probably, unless we do super well this year. But we'll see how we're looking. If we're not good this year, I'm trading everyone before the final year. I am so serious. I am going to destroy the team. But all right, heading into year 4, we are up to a 90 overall. Somehow went down from a 91, but I guess just morale or something. Also, we had not this year, but I just forgot to mention, we had a quarterback position battle between JJ McCarthy and Spencer Rattler for some reason, rather than positions that were actually close. Like one of the defensive end spots still is close, and especially was last year, or like corner where we had a lot of depth. I don't know. This game is weird. Either way though, we're looking very, very good. 93 offense, now up to an 88 defense. If this is not a good defense, there are no more, oh well, it's just not a good defensive roster arguments. Like this is and should be a good defense. I don't know that it will be though, but it should be. Let me see. Gotta check. Gotta be petty. Where do we rank for overall? How much are we the best overall by is the better question. Is there an 88? I don't see one. We are the best overall by 3. If we are not good this year, I am trading everyone. We look pretty good in the preseason. Well, we went 1-2 in the preseason, but at least like statistically, it looks like we were pretty good. Not that the preseason really means anything, but in Madden, it kind of does. I don't know. We'll just see. We know who we want to start. We know who we are. We know who we should be. Will we be who we should be though? Okay, we're at least doing a little better this year. We are 4-3. At least we have a winning record. I still don't like our numbers, though. Would it be crazy to change both playbooks again? Like, what's the downside to that? I'm gonna do it. I'm going all reliable. You know what 2 playbooks I'm going. I wish playbooks weren't the only thing that mattered in simulation, but it is. There's nothing you can do about that. I'm going Bills, and you guessed it, Bills. Now, to be fair, I haven't seen them in a Super Bowl here, which is surprising, but I'm sure they've done better than us. Maybe they just don't have that good of a roster. Also, Davis has X Factor. Not that that's that surprising, but still cool. We've got the dev traits. We've got the overall. We just need the team to play well. Let's see who we got to re-sign, though. Jared Verse, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Byron Murphy, Garrett Williams. Oh, boy. How are we this broke? I feel like we were pretty early on a lot of deals. I mean, we have a good roster, but, you know, is Jared Verse worth paying this much? He's had 1 10-sack season. He's on pace for another, but I can't just trust that when he's had 1. What's he ranked for outside linebackers? I might do something major here. Number 2, you know? This is a wild trade, but we are gonna send him to the Patriots for a 1, a 2, and a 3. We're gonna send back a 4 just so they have some picks, but I'm not gonna pay him when we're gonna be kind of strapped for cash, and he, again, has only hit 10 sacks 1 time and is barely on pace for that this year. It just doesn't make sense to pay him. I know he got X Factor. He got it off of tackles for loss. I don't care about that when you're getting 7.5 sacks a year as a 94 overall X Factor. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't care. But Jeremiah Trotter Jr., I'll go 7 years, 144. He takes it. He's been insane. Byron Murphy, I'll go 4 years, 99 if he takes this. He didn't last year. He does this year, though. But everyone else will wait and see. We'll have to restructure all of our deals at the end of the year, and we're gonna need to add a pass rusher, which is fine because we kind of needed one anyways. But all right, let's see how we end up doing. Do we have a rookie we could start? I mean, we have, or no, I think I practice squatted him. Well, we had a rookie we could have started, but I don't think he would have done well anyways. We could do something wild and start McCree at edge at 295, but it would only be half a year. I doubt he would win Defensive Rookie of the Year. So we'll leave it. Let's see how we end up doing. But okay, I didn't expect to be here, but here we are at the end of year number 4. And if you haven't already, if you've enjoyed, be sure to leave a like on the video. Sounds weird, but it helps out the channel. I would appreciate it, and it'll let me know you want to see me do another fantasy draft rebuild. Either a picked one or a CPU picked one. Either way would be fun, or a themed one, like only defense, only offense, only the shortest players, only the worst players, only the highest overall players, which is harder than it sounds because you end up picking the same positions over and over. Whatever you'd want to see. I've done stuff like that before, and it seems like y'all enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. And also be sure to subscribe if you've enjoyed. If you've made it here and you aren't subscribed, you should, because if you enjoyed this, you'll enjoy like all my other videos. Trying to hit 100K soon, but oh yeah, also one more thing. Be sure to turn on notifications for the channel. I always forget to plug that, but if you want to be one of the first people to ever see these videos, and you know, if you leave a comment, I'll reply to all the early ones. I usually reply to the ones within the first like 3 minutes or so, or just ones I happen to see. Oh yeah, and also one more thing, question of the day. You know what? I have an interesting one today. I've been forgetting to do questions of the day, but let me know down in the comments. Who do you think is gonna be the #1 overall pick this year? To the Tennessee Titans, or do you think they'll trade down? I think they'll stick and pick Cam Ward, but I know Abdul Carter is a rumor. There's kind of a rumor that they'll trade down, which honestly, if I were the Titans, this might be kind of crazy, but I think I would trade back. That roster's horrible. I would not want to throw Cam Ward into that situation, especially when, you know, he's not seen as the best potential #1 overall pick option ever. I think that's setting him up to be a bust, unfortunately. I mean, you never know, but I think I would trade down if I were the Titans. Maybe that's crazy, though. I don't know. I just do not like taking a rookie QB when the roster isn't ready, and I definitely don't think that roster's ready. But let me know what you think is going to happen with the first overall pick. I'm thinking about doing a live stream reacting to every first-round pick as it happens, obviously. Let me know if you would want to see that. I did a free agency reaction stream last year, and it seemed like everyone really enjoyed that. People were pestering me to stream more for a while after that. Let me know if you'd want me to do a draft reaction stream. I'm considering it. But all right, long plug over. This is how the team is looking at the end of year 4. Obviously, no more Jared Verse, but we are still a 92 overall. We have a 96 overall offense. And in what is, I guess, gonna be the final year of this rebuild, I don't think this team is gonna get much better. We ended up going 13-4. Do you see the magic of the Bills playbooks? Like, y'all see why I like them so much. We almost didn't lose another game for the rest of the year. Our one loss was not a very close loss to the Seahawks in week 17, but we beat the Buccaneers 52-7 right after that. JJ McCarthy, 4,600 yards, 44 touchdowns, 16 picks. I bet at least half of those were in the first half of the year. Or I feel like I saw the number. I can't remember what it was. I feel like it was 8. I feel like that's a pretty good guess. I don't know. But Bijan, good year. Almost 1,500 yards and 24 receiving touchdowns for Barker. Almost 1,000 for Ford, but only 850 for London. But blocking was pretty good. Very good, actually. Trotter, 107 tackles. Another, like, should be defensive player of the year type season. He's been maybe the most surprising player I've ever had in a rebuild. I didn't think he would be maybe our best performing player, but 11 TFLs for Murphy led the team and 11 sacks. Not many sacks from our pass rushers, though. 7.5 for Killing, 7.5 for Hall, only 3 for Hart. But picks, 4 for Trotter, Kinchins, and Cleveland, 3 for Williams. So it was just interceptions that carried us, because sacks, that wasn't great. It's been worse, but it wasn't amazing. Or, no, I guess it was amazing. We ended up with 46. How was that 46? That did not seem like it. I guess we just had a lot of players get sacks. That's interesting. So yeah, I guess that was really good. But MVP, of course, goes to division rival Jordan Love. I've seen him at number 2 like every year. He wins it though. But JJ McCarthy at number 8, Stephon Diggs at 2 for offensive player of the year in 2027. Back on the Texans, Jahan Dotson. What are we doing, man? Christian Kirk, Isaiah Hodgins. Dominic Barker, number 2 for offensive player of the year, an actual good overall receiver. Laviska Shenault still up here. John Mechie. Defensive player of the year for the NFC goes to Max Crosby on the 49ers. Brandon Weiner is really good at number 3, I guess. Trotter at number 7, though. But let's see. Bobby Ford gets 2 for offensive rookie of the year. Not that that really matters, because this is the final year. We wouldn't get the reward for that anyways, but still. Jake Jackson at 9, and defensive rookie of the year goes to Deontay Davis at number 5. This has been something. Not really any more than usual, though. I've come to expect stuff like this. But yeah, very, very good roster. I'm shocked we got 46 sacks with this team, or however many it was. I think it was 46 after trading Jared Verse. I almost wonder if we should have kept him. Maybe it would have been even better, but it definitely would have been, because we're not gonna pick. Should we do a year 5 regardless? You know what? I will. This isn't gonna be the final year. We'll do one more. It could end in tragedy, but that's the risk you take, I guess. We'll do one more year to at least make use of those extra picks we got for Jared Verse. But who are we gonna be taking on in the divisional? It is gonna be the Arizona Cardinals at only an 87 overall, 10-7 record. How much are we the highest overall by now? There are 88s. There is an 89 in the Packers, so still by 3 it looks like, unless there's a 90. I don't see one, so still by 3, but can we beat the Cardinals here? I would sure hope so. They did have a better defense than us, but I would guess ours was a lot better in the second half of the year than theirs, but we had the better offense. Can we beat the Cardinals? We can, 34-31. I mean, if we win the Super Bowl this year, we would have to end it here. Don't mean to call it too early, but we're going to be taking on the also 87 overall Detroit Lions. Like, that's not a bad overall here. It's close-ish. It's like mid, probably, but I mean, we're still 5 overall better. We should realistically destroy this team just based on roster talent. It still shows the Cardinals stats because, like I said, nothing works in this game, but I'm sure the Lions did pretty well. Let's see if we can beat them here and move on to the Super Bowl. We do. Okay. I mean, if we win this game, this will be the final game of the rebuild. If we lose, I'll still do one more year. Looks like the Broncos went 16-1, but they don't make the Super Bowl. Ironically, we are going to be taking on the Buffalo Bills, whose playbooks we use. It didn't work out that well for them, but I mean, maybe it did. They went 10-7 and made the Super Bowl, despite being an 86 overall, one of the worst. I'm surprised they didn't do even better, to be fair, but what does their roster look like? Oh yeah, they have Jaden Daniels and Brock Bowers, Derek Brown, Daniil Hunter. They're playing Derek Brown as a 3-4 D-end, or 4-3 D-end at 320, by the way. Oh, they drafted the Matthew Bolden guy. That's cool. They have Tyjae Spears as their starting running back. That's unique. They have Quentin Johnston as their number 2 receivers, and then just the Broncos receivers. 2 of them, at least. Oh, their O-line is not great. Orlando Brown is their left tackle. My GOAT, Matt Lee, is their center. I actually think Matt Lee is a really good player, and if he ever gets a chance, will be a starter for a while as a 7th round pick or whatever he was. But all right, let's jump in and watch this simulate. Let's see if we can get a Super Bowl win with this fantasy draft team. The Panthers first ever Super Bowl win. Let's see if it can happen. But all right, here we go in a rainy Super Bowl. What stadium is this? Where are we? It looks like a dome, but it's raining. Okay, this is SoFi apparently. But all right, if we don't get it done here, we have one more chance, but I would prefer to get it done here because it's unlikely we will get back here in the final year. It's possible, but we'll see. We do take an early 7-0 lead. The Bills do get a field goal, but we are immediately up 14-3. Now we can't let off now. They do get a field goal, but we needed to score there. The Bills make it 14-13. We make it 21-13 in the third. Now in the fourth quarter, the Bills get in the red zone, but they don't score. We kick a field goal and another, and just like that, a mix of rain and confetti coming down, we beat the Bills in the Super Bowl 27-13. Our defense absolutely showed up. Our offense did enough. And in just 4 seasons, we turned this team of rookies, year 2 players, and year 3 players into Super Bowl champions. You love to see it.